Once I release it, I have no say. I have the power to pull you into oblivion. You should never have insulted the Jagan Eye. Resisting it is not something I would do.
Dragon! Ah! The darkness flame!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cloudspan here, back with another build video. Hey, thank you very much for clicking on the video, checking out the channel. Maybe consider subscribing as well. Today we're going to be going over my new 1-bar Templar build. You know, very strong build, has great sustainability, high damage, okay? So the first set we're going to run is Order's Wrath. Order's Wrath gives you a ton of crit chance and crit damage and healing. This is going to immensely strengthen your 1-bar builds, okay? Everyone thinks you should build into penetration, when in all honesty, especially on a 1-bar build, your healing bar and your damage bar are the exact same bar. So you have to have high crits, high damage. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stack a little differently than you do other builds, right? Then you have the 1-piece Magma Incarnate. That's just the 1-piece, so don't worry too much about that. Rallying Cry is going to be our second set. Rally gives you so much tankiness, especially in this patch where crit damage is so high. We're going to be running 4 heavy armor pieces. All the heavy armor pieces will be reinforced, and then the rest will be light divines, okay? On the jewelry, we pretty much have Triune on 1 piece, and then the other 2 are going to be infused weapon damage with the magic recovery enchant. This is also going to be a ranged build, so we're going to be using our light attacks to proc Merciless Resolve. This is going to give you a crazy burst to your combo, alright? Your second skill is going to be Crushing Shock. This is your spammable. You're going to use this in between every single light attack, or every light attack in between that, I should say. Honor the Dead is your burst heal. This gives you a lot of sustain as well, because when you cast it under 75% health, it restores a good portion of it back. Radiant Destruction is going to be your execution. Resolving Vigor, you have to have this on every build. It's the best hot in the game. And as far as ultimates go, you can pretty much run whatever you want. Meteor would be good. Dawnbreaker obviously is good. You could even go Incap if you want to. Alright, as for champion points in the blue tree, we got Fighting Finesse, once again stacking up that crit damage and crit healing. We got Focus Mending, that's going to improve your single target healing by 10%, so your Vigor and your Breath of Life will heal harder. Deadly Aim, that's your single target attacks. Pretty much everything we have a single target, right? And then Ironclad, that's going to increase your tankiness versus any direct damage, which is what's going to kill you more times than not. For the red tree, we have Rejuvenation, we have Relentlessness. This is going to give you major protection every time you're stunned. Pain's Refuge. Pain's Refuge is very strong, okay, especially if you're going up against anyone with dots. Every single one of those is just going to make you a lot tankier. And Sustained by Suffering. Sustained by Suffering is, you know, pair that with Rejuvenation and you're just going to have crazy sustain on any build, okay? Now, you can also, instead of running the Dawn's Wrath tree for Templar, you can run the Adric Spear, in which case you would replace your Execution with the Spear to knock people back, and then you would just use the Spec Bow to kind of finish people off. Now, getting into our Mundus Stone, we are running the Shadow, stacking more crit damage, more crit healing. Food, we're running the Clockwork Citrus Fillet. This is the best magic sustain food you can have. We really don't struggle stamina wise, especially on a 1-bar build. We have a decent amount of stam sustain as is. We're running Tri-Stat pots, goated, right? OG pots. We're also running Magic Restore, Unstoppable, and Stealth Detection pots for those pesky Nightblades. All right, we're going to put most of our points into magic, a couple points into health, about 21 points into health. As you see, once again, into the Shadow, right? Our race is a Khajiit. Khajiit stacks the most possible burst damage in the game, but once again, it's crit damage and crit healing. That's very important, right? 1-bar builds cannot survive without high damage, right? But you also have to have high damage to finish targets off. Penetration is very strong, and especially on a 2-bar build where you can run Sharpen on your front bar, you can run Balorgs on your ultimates. That works pretty well for a 2-bar build, but on a 1-bar build, you have to make sacrifices, and the sacrifices you make cannot be survivability. All right, too many times do I see people, you know, they got 20k penetration on a 1-bar build, but then anytime I'm on one of my 2-bar builds or one of my 1-bar builds, I kill them in 2 to 3 seconds, right? If your healing is not strong enough to survive, it really does not matter how much damage you're doing unless you're on a gank or bombing spec. All right, man, so that's going to be the end of the video. You know, feel free to comment and leave any requests for future videos or future builds that you would like me to post. I will definitely try to stay active as much as possible. Right now, I'm in the middle of a move, and I probably won't have a lot of internet for at least the next 10 to 15 days. So, you know, I'll try to be online as much as humanly possible to gain clips for you guys. And if you guys have certain builds you guys want me to post, I will do my best to get those builds up and running for y'all, man. God bless. Y'all have a great day. And Klausman out.